Crimson Trace announces Link, the world's first wireless laser and white light system, combining a green laser and 300 lumen light with instinctive activation for AR-type rifles. Link, smart, simple, secure. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
While Tom's out hunting in the Wild Wild West, you can kick back and listen to a reloaded version of a previously broadcast Gun Talk. Tom will be back live next week.
Alrighty, let's talk about guns. I'm Tom Gresham. It's called Gun Talk for a reason. We're going to be talking about guns and shooting and optics and calibers and cartridges and bullets. Two different things, you know, cartridges and bullets. Although some people seem to have a problem differentiating between the two. There is a difference. But at the same time, don't lose your mind if somebody says bullet when they really mean cartridge. It's okay. Don't use it as a lever, if you will, leverage to be condescending. Welcome. Glad that you could be with us. I am high in the mountains of Idaho, doing this remotely. Lots of fun. We've been having a ball out here. Came out to see the eclipse, total eclipse of the sun. It was breathtaking. One of the things I've learned, you might want to file this away because in 7 years it will be back, 98 or 99% is a total miss. I was amazed at people who said, well, I was at 98% and it didn't do much. Well, yeah, did you not look on the internet? Did you not realize that's a miss? You're either in or you're out. If you're at 98%, get in your car and drive 40 miles and get under the path of totality. So just file that away. It's going to be in Texas in 7 years. I'm definitely going to be there. I will tell you, it was a 6-year-old with us described it as a hole in the sun. I liken it to a hole in the sky. It was quite amazing. Really a neat experience. Not the same seeing it on video on TV when you're out there and the temperature's dropping and the birds start moving and the bugs come out and everything. I mean, it's just cool. You experience it. It's a full-blown experiential type of thing, as we like to say. Oh, man, a lot of things for us to be talking about, a lot of things going on in the news. Have you noticed the gun ban industry? The gun ban industry is ramping up. And they really are going in a different direction. It's a different manner than I've seen in, the almost 23 years we've been doing this show. And I've been covering guns and gun politics for almost 50 years. The way they're going now is to, and I'm at a level I've never seen before, I guess, let me say that, denigrate and smear gun owners. And the latest method, they used to say, oh, yeah, some form of knuckle dragging, mouth breathing, backwoods, blah, 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 and all that for gun owners, despite the Olympic shooters and the millions of women shooters and you get the drift. But now it's, if you are a gun owner, if you carry a gun, you must be a racist. You must be a white supremacist. The NRA is a terrorist group. The NRA is a white supremacist group. This is the latest smear campaign that's underway. And I will tell you, having watched the smear campaigns where they use racist as their leverage throughout the years, not just with guns, with everything else, it stops the conversation. It is what I call the new McCarthyism. Back when McCarthy would say, are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? You could never talk about anything else. You simply had to defend yourself that you weren't a communist. Now it's, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist, and all of a sudden you can't really talk about gun rights or the success of concealed carry, or lives saved, or people and women, mothers who feel safer because they can protect themselves. No, you can't talk about anything that has to do with logic, or facts, or history, or track record. All you can talk about now is, no, I'm not a white supremacist. No, I'm not a racist. That is if you buy into that. Because if you start defending yourself, they win. It's indefensible. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, you're not. And the people on the sideline, which is where the real audience is, are thinking, well, maybe they are. So what you got to do is do a bump and run. Say, of course, that's just stupid. We're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about the success of concealed carry. Boom, it's a bump and run. You hit it, you move away. You hit it, you move away. You move to what's real. You move to the real thing because they don't want you to talk about the success of gun ownership. They don't want you to talk about the safety record of responsible firearms ownership. Lowest accident rate in history. Lowest accidental death rate in history. Lowest accidental rate or actual numbers of children killed in firearms accidents in history. Murder is down by half. Gun crimes are down by half over the last 20 years. An incredible success rate report, track record. And, of course, they don't want you to talk about that. They don't want the media won't talk about that. Oh, white supremacist, racist, ooh. Now, along those lines, I see this story that just came out. The Second Amendment Foundation has come out and said they will not defend the presence of firearms at protests. This was reported in the Washington Times. Quote, "We are not a fan of armed protests and highly discourage that," said Alan Gottlieb, the founder and executive vice president of the Second Amendment Foundation. Firearms, because he says, serve a purpose, and the purpose is not a mouthpiece. It is to defend yourself. If you are carrying it to make a political point, we are not going to support that. What did I say last week and the week before? Same thing. If you go to a protest and you are open carrying, I would submit that most of the people who are doing that as a way of trying to intimidate. That is not what we do with these guns. We don't try to scare people. We don't brandish our guns. We don't intimidate people. They are simply tools. And I've never supported using guns, open carrying guns, as a way of trying to make a political point. I would tell you, I know this to be true, you will run away more supporters than you will gather. You will frighten people who will then become anti-gun. You do not win with this. Well, it's my right. Yeah, I know. It's a loser. But it's my right. Yeah, I know. But you're losing. Some people really, honestly, seriously would rather lose because they don't understand. They don't understand what's going on there. So I throw that out, and I guess I would just invite your comments on this. Also looking for your range reports. When we come back, I want to tell you about a range report. Guy goes to a public shooting range, watches what happens as customers come in, and he informs the owner, says, I can't shoot here. And I'll tell you why. 866-TALK-GUN is our number, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. We're open lines looking for your range reports and your thoughts. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
Hardcore tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. For decades, Surefire has built the first and finest professional-grade flashlights, weapon-mounted lights, hearing protection, and suppressors. We build the best because lives depend on it, and we know failure is not an option. We design, engineer, and manufacture Surefire products right here in the U.S. For you, for your loved ones, Surefire. American-built, American-strong. Surefire.com.
Built to perform in the harshest conditions, the Ruger American pistol can take it all, from ice to dust and everything in between. The Ruger American pistol features a short take-up trigger, Novak sights, and a recoil-reducing barrel cam with low mass slide for reduced felt recoil. Plus, a modular grip system with 3 sizes to fit almost any hand. Check it out at Ruger.com. The Ruger American pistol, because anything else would be un-American.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at TimneyTriggers.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour.
It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Want your next gun purchase to be fast and hassle-free? Well, at galleryofguns.com, you can search through thousands of models from our huge firearms inventory. Find a great offer from a local dealer that includes all fees and taxes. And there's no need to arrange a transfer. Gallery of Guns takes a small deposit on your credit card, and your gun will be at your chosen dealer in as little as 48 hours. Plus, your gun will be covered by our guaranteed lifetime replacement warranty. GalleryofGuns.com. Search, find, buy. It really is just that easy.
All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun gets you in here. We're talking about getting range reports. Let me get this up. I just want to read this to you because it was pretty interesting. SJ sends this in. He says, recently I went to an indoor gun range in Arkansas with my aunt who is a little bit older. Says neither of us had been there before, so we entered without our guns and talked to the lady at the desk first. This provided us with the rules, and I also wanted to know what kind of place it was. She was nice and said that they required that they inspect the guns we intend to use prior to use. So we got our guns from the car and presented them to her in their cases. Then, as we filled out the "we ain't responsible if you get shot" paperwork, I saw a guy come in with 3 teenage girls with their ammo in plastic baggies. She told him that they needed to inspect the guns first. He complied by handing her his gun, muzzle pointed at her. She reluctantly accepted the gun, inspected it, and handed it back properly. Then she asked him to present it properly next time. He responded by saying quite loudly, "I did hand it to you properly, and I resent the fact that you think I am not safe with guns. I am the safest person you have ever met with guns." This is right after he points the gun right at her. Mind you, he says, this is in front of the kids he had with him. The clerk behind the counter said nothing and let him proceed to the range. After he and the kids got past the first door, I politely told the lady behind the counter that we will be leaving, and I told her exactly why. Needless to say, we found another range that day. It was a great place with good employees and customers. In the range, I started her out with a .380 Glock. She did a great job, got a smile on her face. Then she shot her own .38 Special revolver. They had a great time. He says, Tom, my aunt and I had a great time. She felt confident with her gun again, and we talked about the whole experience as we drove home, and we went home and cleaned the guns. This is a part of situational awareness. You go into a range, you look around, you see who's there, you see who's shooting, and your safety depends not only on your behavior, but on the behavior of the people around you, and you cannot control the behavior of people around you. If it doesn't look good, leave. It really is as simple as that. If you've already paid your money, it looks unsafe, leave. Yeah, you could ask for your money back, but if they won't give it to you, leave. I mean, really, it's just not worth getting shot, okay? Hey, let's go to the phones. Line 3, Raphael's out of Texarkana, Arkansas. Says, what's going on, Raphael? What do you think about this?
Well, I called to comment on something you said just a little earlier on how the left is trying to, influence the perception of gun owners and essentially blanketing everyone as a white supremacist, which is kind of short-sighted and absurd, because where does that leave us? And when I say us, I mean minorities. You know, myself being Hispanic, I told you, screener. No, I'm a Hispanic immigrant. Now, I've been here most of my life, but still, I'm one of the minorities who believes in the right to self-defense. I carry it with me every day, and I will defend the Second Amendment as well, as zealously as any of these white supremacists, so-called. So,
No, Raphael, you don't understand. Raphael, you may be Hispanic, but I'm sorry, but you must be a white supremacist if you you believe in gun rights. So,
well, either that or I must be a racial self-loather. You know,
I like that.
If I'm subscribing to the ideology of the white supremacist, that ideology being to protect myself, then I must just hate my race.
You hate yourself.
That is, A equals B equals C. If believing in the Second Amendment makes you a white supremacist, then it follows that if you are not white and you believe in what the white supremacists believe, then you hate your race.
I'm loving it, man. I love how you do. And you know what? Here's the deal. What you're doing and what I'm doing, I think, is what we all ought to do. It's just laugh at these people. You have to laugh at the total absurdity of the very idea. It is absurd, but nevertheless dangerous because their influence. I mean, there is the left and these anti-gun people do have the power to influence many other people and have. Sure. Well, I mean, when you say the left and the media, of course, that's redundant now.
But now, I'll tell you what, I do want to encourage, though, and I don't mean this as, I don't subscribe to group politics or what have you, but sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. Anyone out there, any minority out there, black, Hispanic, anybody, non-white, and I know they're out there, but there are people like me out there that just know that this is nonsense. Some of us come from countries where guns are banned, and we know exactly what that means and what that does to the population, how it makes them sitting ducks, how it makes a government just completely unaccountable. So, I mean, I think minorities need to speak out. Because the only time you ever hear from minorities, and I put quotes on that, is when they have something to complain or moan about, and list, whatever it is they're being a victim of today. And not all of us are victims.
Now, to be fair, Raphael, generally people don't speak up and make a lot of noise when they're happy about everything. All of us, in every issue, tend to speak up and make noise when we're unhappy about something. But to your point, I think you're right. I think minorities, blacks, Hispanics, women, all need to speak up and say, people, this is ridiculous. I am a gun owner. I am an NRA member. I carry a gun for self-defense. I have taken on the responsibility of protecting my family and my children. How dare you? And I think that's the attitude is, how dare you brand me as a racist? How dare you brand me with those people who we reject and we completely do not want to be associated with? And oh, by the way, there are 5 million NRA members. There are 100 million gun owners. You can't possibly be saying that there are 100 million white supremacists in the country, are you?
Absolutely. I mean it's absurd, but even it doesn't matter how absurd the argument is. They stand by these arguments, and they continue to espouse these arguments, and it drives me absolutely crazy. One more thing on your comment about protesting with guns. I absolutely agree with you. That's one of the first things you learn in concealed carry class is you don't brandish your gun. You don't use your gun to intimidate anybody. You don't. Mm-hmm. In fact, when you conceal carry, you want to make sure nobody ever knows or you don't ever hint at the fact. You don't print your gun and you don't hint the fact that you're carrying. Because you're not doing so to intimidate. And I do think that it does all of us gun owners and gun right advocates disfavor when a lot of these ignorant folks show up at protests, just brandishing their rifles and open carrying. It just, you're using that to, again, that doesn't make you any better than
look, Raphael, I got to run, but look, I appreciate the call. It's a great point. And I would add to this, thank you, sir. Whether you think that we should be able to open carry, we should be able to go to protest, all that, here's what I would submit to you. Do you want to win or do you want to lose? Do you think it persuades a soccer mom to support gun rights when you frighten her? Yeah, but I know, but it's my, I get it. I understand. Let me return to the question. Do you want to win or do you want to lose? And what I'm talking about here is public opinion. Because, trust me, the Second Amendment only lasts as long as public opinion allows it to. Well, it's in the Bill of Rights, yeah. Until it's not. Until it's overturned. Until it is nullified to the point where it makes no difference and it really has no value and no power. And public opinion makes that happen. So it is always a battle for public opinion. So are you winning friends in the public, or are you losing and driving away friends and supporters in the public? That's the real question. Do you win or do you lose with this course of action? I don't know. By the way, big news. If you have the GunDealio app, and I'm sure you do, on your smartphone, there's a new update coming up this week, and it is one of those you must update your GunDealio app. We have a new search function on the deals page, which people have been clamoring for 2 years. It is not, trust me, it has not been easy to do. We have had programmers and everybody else working on this for a long time. So we have the brand new update for GunDealio. It's going to come out this week. You've been getting notices about it. You'll be getting more notices about it. But you absolutely need to update that, because at a certain point, the old one stops working. So you want to make sure you're getting the news. And besides, it's just going to be more functional. It's going to be more useful. When you can search for the deals, you can say, I'm looking for whatever it is, a Smith & Wesson or a Springfield Armory or a Colt or whatever, or ammo deals or whatever else. Now it becomes even better. I mean, it's been good. In fact, it's been revolutionary what GunDealio has done. And we keep working to make it better. And let me tell you, my introduction to the software development world, holy cow, that is a different world altogether. All right, what have you been shooting? I've been carrying a revolver again for the last week or so, having a bunch of fun with my little 350, well, actually mid-sized 357. What are you carrying, and what have you been shooting, and who's been taken to the range? Let's look for those range reports. 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun.
While Tom's out hunting in the Wild Wild West, you can kick back and listen to a reloaded version of a previously broadcast Gun Talk. Tom will be back live next week.
Okay, I'm looking for the story. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I had to... There are some stories that you run across and think, okay, that can't be real. Yeah, in this case it is. Welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. If you want to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. Give me a call if there's something on your mind. If you hate guns, if you hate gun owners, hey, I'll shut up and give you the floor. Go for it. 866-TALK-GUN. This will be the, how do I put this on the radio? Dumb burrow of the week. Child finds an 8-year-old found a gun in a dressing room at a store. The mom takes the gun away from the 8-year-old. That's good. But she didn't know if it was real. She couldn't tell if this gun was real or not. So what to do? How would you possibly know if a gun is real? How would you determine this? Well, clearly what you do is you just pick it up and pull the trigger. It was real. Now, God or some other entity was looking out for people and nobody got shot. I am not kidding you. She pulled the trigger to, quote, determine if the gun was real, according to the Atlanta police report. 22 caliber, said no one was injured. I think we need mandatory gun training in schools. It could be at Eagle, it could be gun safety training, it could be whatever, but people will run across a gun now and then. There are a lot of guns out there. If you know zero, nothing, nada, zilch about them, you are a hazard to yourself and your children and the people around you. Oh, I would never touch a gun. Well, then you're just stupid. Huh? Did Tom? Yes, I did. I would never touch a gun. Well, then you're an idiot. This is a device. It's a thing. You at least should know how to pick it up without pulling the trigger and point it in a safe direction or put it away until you call somebody who knows something about it. It's like the people who say, well, I would never allow a gun in my home. Oh, my friend Ray Elgin has so much fun with that. He said, well, really? He said, well, now, he says, I'm confused. If someone broke into your home, what would you do? Well, I'd call the police. He said, well, that doesn't make any sense. He said, well, what do you mean it doesn't make sense? Well, you just said you're not going to allow a gun in your home. Well, I mean, I won't. But when the policeman walks in, he or she's going to have a gun. Oh, but that's different. Really? Okay. Right. That's different. Oh, yeah, in Oregon, the governor has signed a gun confiscation bill into law. Yep. Oregon Governor Kate Brown on Wednesday approved the Democrat-backed gun control legislation to establish, quote-unquote, extreme risk protection orders, forcing subjects to surrender their firearms. And here's how it works. This law, SB 719A, allows police or a member of the subject's family or household to file a petition with the court which could lead to an order prohibiting firearms possessions if it is believed they pose an imminent risk to themselves or others. You know, there is a provision in the law, if someone is adjudicated to be mentally incompetent, they are prohibited from owning guns. But when you have a third party says, I swear that this person is unsafe, and a court, without having that person testify or look into it, can just issue an order, and the police go and knock on the door or kick in the door and take all the guns, and you're guilty until proved innocent. I don't know. Doesn't sound right to me. Doesn't sound right at all. In fact, along those lines, line 2, Matt's with us out of Grants Pass, Oregon. Hey, Matt, gun confiscation happening, huh? Matt, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, talking about Oregon, this thing you just passed there.
Well, I can't really hear you.
Okay, I tell you what, we must have a bad connection, Matt. Look, I appreciate it. We're going to have to keep running there. Let's do this. Let's drop back and talk to, on line 4, Roy is with us out of Medford, Oregon. Hey, Roy, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, good morning.
Hey there.
Probably about a month ago, you had a guy on there, and he was talking about this special handle I could put on my 22 AR. It's a M&P, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I didn't get the name of that. I was wondering if you knew it.
Oh, it's called a slide fire.
Oh, slide fire. Okay.
Yeah, it's a you replace the stock and you put the slide fire stock on there, and it allows it to shoot quickly. Basically, it's what it does. It's almost like it. Imagine the gun is kind of bouncing back and forth, and you're holding the rifle somewhat lightly, and the recoil is causing it to move back and forth, and it's pulling the trigger. So it's very controllable. You can go pop, 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 like that, or you can fire one or a number of shots. And it's kind of fun. It's a fun little thing to do. So yeah, I would look up slide fire, and if it's something that you're interested in, absolutely, you could put that on your 22 rimfire AR.
Do you think they have something like that for a regular AR?
Oh, yeah, they do. They have it absolutely for the 223 or 556 ARs, too. But you want to make sure you get the right one because, obviously, the recoil level is different with those. But, yeah, I'd go look into that, see what you think. And, do me a favor. If you go get one, if you put it on, after you shoot it, call us back and give us a range report on it, okay?
I surely will. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
When you want the highest quality ammunition, look to HSM. Since 1968, hunters and shooters have counted on HSM cartridges, including world-renowned Trophy Gold, featuring Berger VLD bullets, Pro Pistol Hunter, Cowboy Action, and the new Game King, featuring field-proven Sierra bullets. HSM's new revolutionary low-recoil rifle loads hit game hard, but kick much less. Low-recoil loads use standard weight-for-caliber Sierra hunting bullets in 7 popular calibers. HSM, at your local shooting sports retailer.
You use Slip 2000's full line of gun lubricants, including EWL and EWL30, because you know your guns deserve the best available. It's time to add Slip 2000's Carbon Killer Gun Cleaner. Carbon Killer dissolves carbon and lead on contact, is not toxic, and reusable. Carbon Killer works on all weapons, including handguns, rifles, and machine guns, plus silencers and compensators. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
The Springfield Armory SOCOM 16 CQB is a serious package of .308 firepower with a long military background. 10 inches shorter than the standard M1A with a standard 10-round or the optional 20-round magazine. It's a thunderous close-quarters battle rifle that stops, fights, fast. Ghost ring rear and tritium front sights with a 5-position adjustable cheek piece. The SOCOM 16 CQB is ready for anything. Springfield-Armory.com.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. shopguntalk.com.
Get ready for something totally new from LMT. A short personal defense weapon with an integral suppressor. Featuring new suppressor technology from Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, the CSW, or Confined Space Weapon, has a 24-inch overall length profile and includes their new high-performance suppressor that can shoot supersonic and subsonic ammunition with no changes. Chambered for the 300 blackout, the CSW allows quick movement in tight quarters. For more, visit lmtdefense.com.
Goodness. Another example of the willingness, eagerness, complicit nature of the media to put forward misinformation, disinformation, and just plain out lies. Well, let's get to that in just a minute. I'll have that example for you just a second. First, let's talk to line 3. Greg's with us out of Hayes, Kansas. This looks like fun, Greg. What's going on? Greg, you there? All right, you can't hear us. You can't put your phone down, and you got to just come back. All right, let's do. Tell you what, let's try line 2. Stephen's with us. Hey, Stephen, you're on.
You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am on.
All right. How can we help you?
You're cutting out there. Well, I had a question. I'm former military, but other than my Marine days, I don't have a whole lot of gun savvy. I mean, obviously I know how to handle a weapon, but I don't know what the rules and the laws are, especially in the state of Oregon. But I'm a fairly new truck driver, and I had some concerns about safety and security. And I haul some pretty expensive loads. And I'd heard some talk about heists and stuff like that. And I was wondering, what are the rules for carrying a sidearm as a truck driver? Or
okay, this is simple. There are no special rules as a truck driver. Whatever the state laws are for anybody is what they are for truck drivers.
Okay.
You will occasionally hear people say, "Oh, well, that's DOT or ICC or somebody else regulation that commercial truck drivers can't have guns. Not true. Never has been true. Not true anywhere. It just simply is untrue. But, and here's the but, as a truck driver, you're going across a lot of state lines. Each time you cross a state line, the rules are different. The laws are different. So you have to know, is your permit, do you have an Oregon permit?
I don't have any permits, but I'm looking into it.
Well, you have to have concealed carry permit, and then you have to check to see which states your permit is honored by. So, I mean, that's the basic deal, is that, first of all, you need to get some training as in what do I do with, how do I avoid things, how do I move, how do I shoot, how do I use cover, more than your concealed carry permit training I would offer. Sure. You have to get your permit, and then you have to know where your permit is good. And because if you're traveling commercially, you're going state to state to state and different laws every time. Now, let me throw this one other thing out. I would not pull a gun out to defend my cargo. Period. Sure. Whoever has hired you to drive that truck has insurance. If they don't, shame on them, but it's not your problem. I would only pull my gun out to defend me in a very immediate attack. But if somebody wants to steal something from the truck, man, I'm going to stay in the truck stop. I'm going to call 911, but I am not, trust me, not going to pull out a gun to try to protect any type of property anywhere.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean,
but generally self-protection.
Yeah, only self-protection, because there's nothing that is owned that is worth getting shot over.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so, I mean, and that's what you got to get in your head is that, well, if they do this, no. My first, deal is I'm going to avoid it. Then I'm going to try to get away from it. And then I'm going to try to de-escalate it. And only if all those things have failed and somebody's actually trying to cut my head off and stick it on the end of a pole, am I going to get serious about pulling my gun out. But TVs, cars, trucks, nothing, no piece of property for me is worth me pulling my gun out and instituting a gunfight. And here's the deal. People get all movied up about this. They get their information about TV. When a gunfight starts, just because you are the good guy doesn't mean you're not going to get shot. And furthermore, let's just I want to put this into perspective for people. If you get shot, let's talk about what that can mean. Yes, you could get killed, but you could get crippled for life. You could be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. You could be brain damaged for the rest of your life. You could be pooping into a bag for the rest of your life. I want you to think about all these other things that can come from this, and then you think, it was just a stupid car. Toss them the keys. Walk away. Run away. You got to get real about this stuff. Where's the risk? Where's the reward? What's the likely outcome? What's the best that could happen? Gee, I saved my insurance company's car. Doesn't belong to me.
Sure.
Belongs to the insurance company. Truck doesn't belong to me. Belongs to the insurance company or the company that hired me to drive the truck. So that's the attitude we have to have, is that I'm not going to try to come save somebody's property or save my own property. And in certain circumstances, I'm not going to come try to save you. That's very situationally dependent. But I'm just saying, don't count on me to be your savior. I'm not going to be the hero. Not my goal, not why I carry a gun. I carry a gun to protect myself and my family. Period. Appreciate the call. Yeah, give that some thought. Check into that. Also, if you want to know where a permit is good, the website is handgunlaw.us. It's a really good website. It kind of gives you some information on where your permit is good. Oregon's a problem. Oregon doesn't honor any other permits. I'm not sure if other states honor the Oregon permit. You can, however, get out-of-state permits in some states that will be honored in a lot of states. But it gets to be a little bit complicated, and it's worth your time to investigate. But I would just encourage you, think about that whole deal of when would I get involved? When would I use a gun for self-protection? And have it in your head, because you know what? In the middle of it is no time to make those decisions. You need to have made those decisions weeks, months, years prior, and rehearsed it to the point where you really understand it. 866-TALK-GUN, get you in here. 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, there's new ammo ahead. We'll be talking about that. All right, first off, let's go to 4. Jeff is with us out of Minnesota. Hey, Jeff, you're on Gun Talk. What'd you get there?
I got me a pistol here, Storm by Beretta, and I'm not in favor of the trigger on it. I'm used to the wheel guns like the Model 29 Smith & Wesson, and I got a couple other 38s that are really, really nice. Is there any way I can get a trigger like a 39 Model 29 Smith & Wesson put on this Beretta?
All right, let me ask you the obvious question. Did you not try the trigger before you bought this gun?
Yeah, I did at the store, right. You know, I thought I could get used to it, but I favor the trigger on a 29 and stuff, but I'm partially satisfied with it because I got fairly accurate with it. I put a Crimson Trace on it, and I like that, but I'm just curious if I can get a better trigger on the Beretta.
Do you, when you shoot revolvers, are you shooting single action or double action?
Both. All of mine are double action.
Okay, so you want a better... Yeah, you just need to get a different pistol. Rather than try to chase this thing down, buy the pistol that has the trigger pull that you want on the front end.
No, I've tried quite a few of them. Do they make them like a Model 29 Smith & Wesson? I don't think so.
Yeah,
especially if it's a single action.
No, you're not going to get... a 1911 is going to have the best single action trigger pull you're going to find. All right.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay.
1911 is a great single action trigger pull, but it doesn't have a double action trigger pull. So if you want single action, what you want is a good 1911. There's nothing else like it in the semi-automatic world, to my view. So any good 1911 pistol is going to have a fabulous trigger pull. It's going to be the closest to a fine revolver single action pull. And look, I wish you luck with it. I do need to get this one thing out. I talked about the dishonesty in the media. Yeah, it goes more than that. Story out of the Baltimore Sun. More access to guns could be the reason for higher rural suicide rates, Hopkins researchers find. The Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. Yeah, $50 million Bloomberg gave the Johns Hopkins University to come up with anti-gun studies. But we're going to go ahead and quote that anyway as though it's real. It examined suicides in cities and in rural areas, and there are more suicides in rural areas use guns more, so they say so guns are the problem. Except that even in the study it says, but when we backed out the guns, suicides are pretty much the same rate in cities and in rural area. But in the rural areas, they use guns more. They're not saying there are more suicides. They're just saying they use guns more. Well, gee, maybe it's because it's hard to get guns because you have in the cities because you have these stupid laws and people have more guns, but it doesn't affect how many people commit suicide. Look at Japan and the U.S. Japan has essentially no guns. They have a suicide rate twice that of the U.S. So all the guns we have in the U.S. doesn't contribute to us having a higher suicide rate than Japan. This is the worst kind of bogus research. And the very idea that the Baltimore Sun would sit there and have, 20, 30, 40 inches of copy on this, I would call it a phony research project funded by noted gun banner Michael Bloomberg with this $50 million contribution to the Johns Hopkins University so that they could do exactly this. It's reprehensible. It is embarrassing to be a member of the media, to call myself a journalist, to have gone to journalism school, to see the Baltimore Sun fall this far. I understand the universities take the money and they prostitute themselves with the Bloomberg money, but holy cow, this is just bogus, totally bogus. Suicides are, it's a whole different issue. It's a mental health issue. We'll talk about that later. Hey, there's some cool new ammo out. We're going to be talking about that when we come back. And we're still looking for your range reports. 866-TALK-GUN.